elements which are so critical, and this is worth 20% of the total marks.
Elizabeth starts off right away with a beautiful flying camel spin, good control, and you notice she spun in one place, and that's what the judges look for.
There are in total 7 elements the skater must complete. 3 jumps. Here's the first one, double axel, 3 spins, and a straight line step of footwork.
Elizabeth is going to have to make it in a come-from-behind routine because while she has so much great free skating talent, she has yet to master the figures, and she finished in 23rd place after the compulsory figures. And so she's kind of skating back there with the also-rans, which is a difficult place to be marked from.
John, there's no question in my mind that she's going to move up considerably because she's skating a near-perfect performance so far. She's got to include these 7 elements in 2 minutes or less. She's a very peppy skater. Here's her combination of jumps, the most difficult flip double loop, and she had no problem with it.
Combination of which this is an example is really a free combination in that the skater may choose any position, any form, any variety, as long as there is at least 1 change of foot and 1 change of position.
There is the debut in the World Championship for our Elizabeth Manley. A great start it was.
I think she did exceptionally well, John. She didn't have any mistakes, and that's so important in this short compulsory free skating program. As we watch Elizabeth go into that double axel jump, look at the height on that. Good landing, and she moved gracefully, beautifully, and with total control throughout.
Mark for Elizabeth Manley, Canada.
The first set of marks, and these are for required elements, 5250, 5250, 5150, and a 52.
This is an extremely large event. There are 30 competitors here at this year's World Ladies Championship.
The second set of marks, and this is for presentation, and it's a 5251, 53 down to a 49, up to 52 and 251s for Elizabeth Manley. 16-year-old Katarina Witt from East Germany is a young lady that many had touted as being a future world champion. She is the national champion of East Germany at 16 years of age. And Katarina had difficulties in the figures as well. Not usual for her, but this time she did. And she had to settle for 9th place. So she is 9th into this, going into this short program, but an outstanding free skater. Same thing happened to her in the Europeans, by the way. She, this year, she finished 2nd overall, but she was 6th after the figures and then went all the way to win it.
John, there you saw the first combination where someone put in a triple jump in combination with that double flip. Katarina chose to do a triple toe loop. Good sit spin, little variation there as she comes out of it. She's got a tremendous personality and she projects it obviously into her program. This footwork that you see is one of those 7 prescribed elements that these skaters have to do within a 2-minute period of time.
Katarina placed 5th in the World Championship last year. She was 10th in the World Championship 2 years ago. So she's making it up step by step to the top.
She is a wonderful jumper, but as yet she does not have the polish for me that some of the North Americans have particularly. It is a little bit rushed, moving from jump to jump or element to element without really relaxing and finishing all those final moves. I guess that just comes with experience, too. She has a very exciting future. The free program is particularly exciting. It's full of wonderfully inventive things, very good jumps and spins. Here's a very good example of the kind of footwork we are talking about, done with little hops, tiny turns. Turns in both directions are encouraged. It's very hard for the skater to keep momentum up, must have good speed and body control. And the judges are very careful, too, about the kind of pattern. The prescribed pattern this year is a straight line step sequence.
The marks for required elements for Katarina Witt, 5.7, 5.6, 5.7 to 5.8 from the Japanese judge, and 3.57.
Those high marks, John, are because she put that triple toe loop in the combination with the double flip.
We'll see what the presentation marks will give her. And here they are, 5.6 up to a 5.8 for Katarina Witt. Very good marks. We'll be back after this word from your host at the 1982 World Free Skater from the United States. Elaine is in 4th place after the compulsory figures. You'll recall that Elaine had her problems in the national championships this year, and she wound up in 3rd place. But last year, she was the silver medalist in the World Championships.
You know, as we said at the outset, this is a girl who could move all the way to the top and win the gold this year. Had the flu here all week in Copenhagen, but all her practice sessions have looked extremely good, and I said it too early. Unfortunately, there she fell on that attempted triple in her combination of jumps.
This seems to be the same kind of luck that dogged her in the national championships in the short program when they must deduct.
There has been tremendous speculation this year. They have drastically changed her program, forcing her to skate to more contemporary music. This from the Electric Horseman. Tremendous changes in choreography to try to get away from that reputation she has as being only a jumper.
I was just going to say that she is by far the best jumper in this field of skaters, and that was just an unfortunate fall on that triple, because usually she does them with great ease.
Sixteen-year-old Elaine Zayak from Thomas, New Jersey.
And she's not smiling, John.
Incidentally, speaking of international skaters, I'd like to say about our good friend Don Gilchrist of Canada, our International Skating Union representative, who unfortunately had an accident in The Hague in Holland and is in the hospital and is unfortunately unable to be with us. He had planned to be here to be one of the referees, but this will be the first World Championship that Don has missed in a long, long time. And we, all the skating fans across Canada, of course, wish him a very speedy recovery.
She did have some trouble, too, John. Speaking of Elaine Zayak again, she just didn't seem to have her heart into it. I don't know what the problem is, whether her illness is still affecting her performance. It's hard to say. Here is the double flip jump, the first jump of the required combination. Then the skater may combine any other double or triple jump. Elaine has chosen a triple toe loop. Seemed to be quite handily done. However, the free leg, the left leg, was crossed over on the landing, and she just did not seem to be able to pull it through. Most unfortunate. It's going to cost her dearly, maybe the gold medal.
Now the marks finally appear for Elaine Zayak, and they are not very happy. 5-0, 4-8, 4-9, 5-0, 5-1, 5-2, 5-1. So these are for the elements. So they've done more than just mark down for the one element that was missing. They've taken some other marks away as well for the technical areas. But now look at this. When you see 2 5.7s up there, ranging all the way down to a 5.2, and Elaine takes a look, walks away. Remember the little 12-year-old that you saw in the Olympics in 1976 at Innsbruck? Elaine Vodorezova of the Soviet Union. And Elaine at this point is in 5th position after the compulsory figure.
Whoa, that was tremendous height. She jumped so high she went out of camera range. She missed an element there, John. She had to do a double with that double flip, and she only did a single jump. That'll cost her.
It is the first time in many years that we have seen Vodorezova at the World Championship. She has started in the event several times, but has never completed it. One of the protégés of the great Juk.
She finished 3rd in Europe this year. The last time she completed a World Championship appearance was 1978, Debbie, and she finished 6th at that time.
Apparently there is some medical problem that she has. We are unable to get definite results. Any kind of confirmation from the Soviet team. They are usually very tight-mouthed about what has happened to their skaters.
I would calculate, judging by the skaters that remain, that Elizabeth Manley will move from 23rd to 17th. She could move up 6 or 7 places. Elaine Vodorezova from the Soviet Union.
Well, she had a perfect program, but she missed that one jump in the combination of the jumps. She only did a single instead of a double. And, of course, in these short programs, you have to do the prescribed jumps and moves. And unless you do, you're going to be marked down accordingly. As she comes down, sits down with her coach, Stanislav Juk, former pair skater himself years ago, and she doesn't seem to be too happy with herself because she has done better before, obviously.
Well, as you pointed out, Otto, the short program is such a do-or-die situation, and putting that kind of pressure on each individual element can sometimes make the strangest things happen. Let's have a look at it again. The double flip jump is nicely done, and then all of a sudden going into the double loop, it becomes a single. This is a nightmare for the skater. At that point, you want to wind up, go back 2 seconds.
Elena came out of this pretty good, really, when you stop and think of the 5.3 sitting up there, but the marks range all the way down to a 4.8. And this is the required element judging, as we pointed out, where the automatic deductions, and it's sometimes difficult to rationalize the difference between a 4.8 to a 5.3. But for presentation, look at this. 5.2 up to a 5.8, and that's not easy to rationalize either. Several times the champion of Finland, Katarina Witt, a student of Carlo Fassi. Here's a young lady that is right at home doing compulsory figures, but not quite so much at home out there doing her free skating performances. She is in 2nd place in the compulsories, in 2nd place at this point. But as she did in the Europeans this year, she dropped to 9th in the free skating, as she did in the Worlds last year.
She's doing well here so far, John. She completed her combination of jumps plus the double axel jump, the more difficult jump in this short program.
Christina, like Claudia Christof-Bakker, who will be after her, are always running 1-2 in the compulsory figures, and then it's always a question of, like there, for example, what will happen to them in their short program or the free program. She almost lost a very simple step and almost went right out of it.
You're right, John. They are very good free skaters, but they don't have the flair and the excitement that, for instance, when Zayak skates on a good day, she's unbeatable.
Well, here we have a look at her going into her combination of jumps, and she did those very well. Here's a prescribed double flip jump, and without any move at all, she goes into her double loop jump, comes out of it, and then she skated on to finish a fairly clean performance until the end.
Required element 5.4, 5.2.
And the marks for required elements 5.4, 5.2, 5.2, 5.3, 5.2, and 2.5.4.
She had a very good show, actually, but I think they're just looking for something a little more exciting.
The marks for the presentation range from 5.2 to 5.6 for Katarina Witt from Finland. The 1982 World Figure Skating Championships in Copenhagen will continue on CTV in Granite Club. And Kate Thompson is in 6th place after the compulsory figures. Here's her first test at a World Championship.
John, she's the best spinner in this competition. Unfortunately, in this short program, there are 3 various types of spins that she has to perform, and this is one of her best.
She caught the audience early with that combination.
Watch for the combination now. Well done.
This is a little girl that wowed him in Moscow, knocked it dead by winning first place.
You notice the changeover, too, from foot to foot in the change foot sit spin. Hardly noticeable. No change of speed.
Thompson of Canada. She never wavered on any of those jumps. Her spins were beautiful as ever, and she connected it all very nicely.
Not at all, John. She didn't have, from that first spin in the beginning of the program, she went through every one of the moves that she had to do. She didn't have one mistake at all. As we take another look at her combination of jumps, she does this prescribed double flip jump very easily, and she chooses to tie it in with this double loop jump. She comes out of it cleanly and moved on to skate a very strong program.
Now they march for Kay Thompson, 5.4, 5.5, 5.2, 5.2, a 5.1, a 5.5, and a 5.5. That's the set of marks for the required elements. And we'll see what happens for presentation. And here we go, 5.3, 5.7, 5.3, 5.4, 5.1, 5.5, and a 5.4 for Kay Thompson of Canada.
5.1, 5.5, 5.4.
Claudia Christof-Bakker from Austria, the European skating champion this year. She was third in Skate Canada last year. And she was third in the world last year. But at this point, she is in first place after the compulsory figures.
jumps. Oh, with a little miss there.
She did complete the double loop, but the rule states that there must be no turning between the landing of the double flip and the second jump in the combination, and she did several little turns before doing the double loop.
The reason for that mistake was that her wrapped around free leg, which has become a trademark with her, threw her off, and the next time she does jump, let's watch for it.
Claudia is a tall girl at 5.7, which makes it difficult for her to be a very strong, athletic performer. She's had to rely on her figures to do it. Twenty-year-old Claudia Christof-Bakker from Austria.
Well, she'll have a tough time holding on to that first place position, John, because she had that one error in the combination of jumps, and she missed a couple of other things, Deb.
Unfortunately, there have been very few good free skating performances in the upper part of the competition. Claudia, there we have a look at the very high free leg. See how wrapped around it is, carried very high in the air. Not considered necessarily a difficult combination either.
For Claudia Christof-Bakker for required elements. 5-0, 4-9, 4-8, 5-1, 5-0, 5-1, and a 5-2.
That'll certainly bring her down, John, because she missed that element and had a couple of wobbly landings on another jump.
Her free skating performance, or presentation that is, will be a little bit better. And as you can see, we range from 5.3 to 5.6s.
5.5.
This pretty young lady is Debbie Cottrell from Great Britain. She was 4th in the world last year, 4th in Europe this year. And at this moment, Debbie is in 3rd place after the compulsory figures. Earlier, Claudia Christof-Bakker usually drops after compulsory figures to short program. She's just gone from 1st to 8th place in the short program. And that makes her 2nd overall at this point. The question now is, what will Debbie Cottrell's effect be on those top 3 positions in the short program? This takes us to the halfway mark.
But she's joined her elements only with stroking. The choreography of the program has a lot to be desired.
And there's a big roaring welcome and a thank you from the big crowd of Brits who are here. A little later in the program, you'll find out why they're really here when you see Torvill and Dean give one of the all-time great performances in skating competitions.
She had good success with the double axel jump, a little scratchy on the landing, but moved through very nicely, very tight, good rotation, fairly nice height. I wish you wouldn't telegraph the moves as she comes into them. You know for about 5 seconds before the jump exactly what's going to happen. It takes a lot of confidence to pop those jumps off, and to be able to do them without letting everybody know takes even more confidence. Debbie moved very nicely through the footwork section. Good use of arms.
March for Debbie Cogswell, Great Britain, required elements 5.3.
The marks for Debbie Cottrell, and this is for required element 5.3 full rate from the Canadian judge, 5.3, 5.2, 5.2, and 2.5.3.
Our Canadian judge is doing Kay Thompson a little bit of good with a 4.8.
Now the marks for presentation, and these range from 5.2 to a 5.4 for Debbie Cottrell. After the short program, which is the halfway mark in the ladies' competition, Kristina Wegelius of Finland has moved into first place. Claudia Christof-Bakker of Austria and Elena Vodorezova of the Soviet Union are tied in second. Debbie Cottrell of Great Britain is fourth. Katarina Witt of East Germany is fifth. Kay Thompson has remained in sixth position. Elaine Zayak of the United States is seventh. Becky DeVries of the United States is eighth. Rosalind Sumners of the United States is ninth. And then we have Canada's Elizabeth Manley, who was in 23rd position, has moved up to 17th. We'll be coming up next with